What's happening, people? Welcome back to the Clubrooms. I hope you've all made it here nice and early. Happy everyone is doing well. Let me know, guys, if you can hear me in the watch here. I'm just sort of doing some technical issues. There are some technical difficulties. Can you guys see me? Give me a thumbs up if everything is okay. Hope everyone is doing well. Yeah, just hit me a thumbs up quickly, guys. I think my server is maybe playing up a little bit. Yeah, clean. Okay, thank you, my friends. Okay, no problem. Appreciate it, guys. Sorry about the delay. I was just having a good chat with my man Ash, the birthday boy. Yeah, look at that beautiful face right there. Thank you very much, Jazz. Thank you guys for coming along. Yeah, we are still. Oh my goodness. Thank you, Killer. Actually, oh man. Thank you, Killer Mozilla. $10 super chat. You're being very kind, my sir. Just because my G Levon is looking extra handsome today. No Diddy. No baby oil. Is that what you're trying to say? No extra baby oil. Oh, man. I'm just watching stuff on TikTok right now. And it's crazy what is happening. No Diddy, no doubt, man. That is going to forever just be no Diddy now. Appreciate, hey, Killer. Appreciate that, my friend. Thank you for that $10 super chat. Okay, guys, we're here. We're here tonight. Still delving in a little bit into our Warriors content. Just so you know, this will be the last Warriors members show for this year. We will be doing Pacific Championship members night, so we'll be doing that. We'll have a little break. But we'll just have a break over these next 2 weeks while things are more NRL focused. But we'll do this show today and another one tomorrow with Ash. So yeah, still hang around for that. But thank you for everyone, all the members, guys. Chuck in. Oh, just quickly, yes. Nice, happy birthday to Ash. Absolutely, man. He had a great weekend. I know he'll share his thoughts tomorrow night, but he absolutely had an amazing weekend. Yeah, just quickly, guys. So tonight's topic, I suppose, is more still Warriors focused. But I suppose looking more so at some of the new signings. I'm just going to go hit the Warriors Kiwi and look into that, the signing of Healey, a bit of NRLW news. So, yeah, that's kind of that night. Now, field your questions. I'll be answering as many as I can. I'll probably bring up a topic until you guys have some questions. Please feel free to ask them. I know we had a great chat on on Friday night about music. Funny thing was, our man Jose started that conversation around the 4 movies. Then it turned into albums. So that's fun. I think this is a good part of off-season talk where we can kind of chill out and talk a little bit more different topics. Always enjoying that. Funny thing is, I'm watching Running It Straight, Blairy and Willie Poaching, right? And they have members questions. And guess who pops up in their members questions? Jose XCI. That's what they said. Jose XC or XCI. Guess what the question is? Off topic. Blairy and Willie, what's your 4 favorite movies? So Jose has infiltrated all the rugby league content pages. He's getting everyone to give their best 4 movies. I love this guy. Jose, if you're out there, bro, come in and say hi. But this man is infiltrated with his best 4 movies. Oh, thank you, my friend Naz. It is great to have you on board, my friend Naz. Thank you very much. And welcome to Wires Up TV. We appreciate you here. And we look forward to hearing your thoughts more frequently here on our Clubroom show. Yeah, Jazz, Jose. I was cracking up. I was listening to it. I was like, Jose XCI. I'm like, I'm sure that's Jose. And the question is, what's the 4 best favorite movies? I'm like, oh, this guy asked that on Friday night. He must be doing the rounds on all the different shows. But nah. Okay, let's quickly just look into this, guys, and chuck in any questions you have, any comments. We'll field those. But we're still moving. Sharks hooker Healey signed until the end of 2027. We talked a little bit about this on the watch along, but for those that weren't there, feel free to add in your thoughts as well. The highly promising Cronulla Sutherland's hooker Sam Healey has been signed to the One New Zealand Warriors on a 3-year contract ending the 2027 NRL season. 21-year-old has come through the grades with the Sharks. He's had 36 New South Wales Cup games for feeder club Newtown. Here's a comment here from Cappy. Sam is a really promising young dummy half and a player we've identified as someone with tremendous upside. That's an interesting quote, isn't it? They've identified as having tremendous upside. So tremendous upside sounds like, for me, potential, right? They're talking about potential. He comes from a really proud rugby league family. That's always a good little thing, right? Rugby league family. When you come from a solid rugby league family, it does have a little bit more oomph to it. And I suppose if you look at every rugby league family, Hopoate's right now, Hopper, how many kids has he got? Nearly, he's got about 3 or 4 different playing rugby league. And you've got the Ropatis, you've got all the other ones. That actual family, rugby league family, does give a little bit, I feel, in terms of to the quality of the player. Being in and around rugby league a lot, I think, helps. His father, Mitch Healey, is a Sharks great deal. I didn't realise that. Ranked 5th for the most games for the club with 222, mainly in the halves. Okay, from 89 to 2000. Okay. Sam was born in Pontefract while his father was finishing his playing career at Castleford Tigers. Okay. Healey Jr. lines up for the Jets. Okay, so yes. Okay, so yeah, he's born in 20, so he's 21, maybe 22. He's still in a good killer, mate. Send Jazz a message. Yeah, Naz, that's a great point. The positive, young, not junior. We, as a club, we've talked about that, that we're looking for youth. We're looking for, we were the oldest, maybe the second oldest team in the comp last year. I suppose now that you got SJ off the books, you've got a few of the younger ones coming through now. We should be maybe in the middle, but yeah, I love it. Young, and we're targeting recruiting this is the type of recruitment. Now, I'll just quickly preface this by saying I felt the club was falling into a trap. Well, not so much a trap, but a style of recruitment. So, for example, JFH, Aaron Clark, CHT, RTS were all kind of easy, well, not to say easy, but recruits for New Zealand players coming home. New Zealand players that, are feeling that wairua to come back home and be a part, get their kids culturally back involved in kura kaupapa or, Māori kaupapa or just being a Kiwi. We know what it's like. I've lived in Aussie. Those of you in the chat, sometimes when you've moved to Aussie, at least in the first couple of years, it can be really difficult. Getting used to the culture, the different vibe, it doesn't have that so much cultural identity there. It's very, an Australian white way in many ways. It depends what parts you live in, but so a lot of those guys will naturally come back, like the Aaron Clarks, the CHT, the RTSs, the JFHs, and I was getting worried we were falling into that trap. But what I actually think it is that we're actually recruiting. This is a sign that we haven't fallen off the radar. We actually definitely recruiting and targeting young talent. I mean, if you look at it, the likes of Jet Cleary, the Luke Hansons, we're getting quite high quality talent. If you look at the Sharks kid Healey, he's actually highly rated amongst the Sharks fans. I know a lot on Twitter we're really upset that he's leaving. So it tells you we're tapping into a market that's like getting Australian talent over is quite difficult. But if you can find the gems in the recruitment game, this is one that I think it is. Now, how does it work with Egan and Lussick? I think it can be twofold. I think he's, from the sounds of it, he sounds like he's more of an offensive, attacking-minded hooker. Dart out of dummy half. Maybe he has a kicking game. Maybe he has those things that more of an attack-orientated. Lussick, for all that he does well, he's very good. His service is pretty good. But he is more defensively sound. He's more of a one-off, straight off the ruck, out to the halves or out to the first receiver. Whereas this kid sounds like he's more of a attacking, probing, darting type dummy half. Now, he hasn't played any first grade. Sometimes the eye test, you have to wait to see the eye test at NRL level. So we are getting, I suppose, an unproven product at the top level, but from all reports, the signs are that this kid will be the goods. Now, why is he here? Brayley is obviously the main guy. He's a guy that hasn't missed a game in 2 years, from what I report. Plays 80 minutes. There's just no way for a young hooker that he's going to hang around for another couple of years to wait for Brayley to get injured. Brayley's probably in that range of a Cam Smith, a guy that just doesn't get injured at hooker, a smaller guy, but they kind of got their build that they just do not get injured. So he's made the call, but I think it's a great little target, because I think what the club is saying is that we're not happy with what we got this year when Egan was out. We're not happy that creatively we weren't getting enough from that position when Egan wasn't there. And we want that position to be solid if Egan isn't healthy. And maybe this is a genuine backup for Egan. So that's good recruitment from me. They got a good quality buy in an area that isn't that strong. I mean, I was a big fan of Paulie Roach, but again, let's be real here. Paulie is still a little way off in terms of being a genuine out-and-out hooker. He's a great energy hooker. He's a great thing. But this kid here sounds like he's got a great repertoire. Again, comes from that rugby league family, all that stuff. So I'll wait to see. But looking forward to it. Just quickly on the Prince of Penrose, man. How great was he on Friday night? Absolutely awesome. Yeah, Nas could be eligible for the Kiwis, yes. Also, Tay saying points to the doors are open for opportunities, not strictly New Zealanders. That's a great point. Great point. That I've been so surprised because New Zealand hasn't typically, at least the undergrade levels, we haven't always targeted young Aussie talent in that way. Like, meaning young Aussie talent that hasn't come straight into the first grade team. We've usually had an under-20s team or a New South Wales Cup team at least. And now that I think the amazing thing that's happened from when we've opened all the grades up, what Robo has done is it's opened up so many new opportunities for young kids, not just New Zealanders but Australians, to come over and play in our junior systems, the Harold Matts, SG Ball, Jersey Flegg. It's actually opened up opportunities for more Australian players, which I think is interesting. And I'm finding it interesting that they are coming over at such a young age and playing for us, which tells you that by opening up the market, we've actually tapped into that Australian market on a lower level, which is surprising for me. But I also love it. The club are open to finding the best talent, best available talent, whether it's Australian or New Zealand. I've always been of that mindset. Yes, you want to build New Zealand talent, but you can balance it out. You can still get Australian quality talent coming through. So I think when I see signings like this Healey one, I'm really impressed by that. I'm impressed by that type of a signing, as opposed to, say, the more ones that want to come home, the Aaron Clarks. Although they're better, obviously high level players. I like finding the gems in this kid Healey. So yeah, let me know what you guys think. Any other questions? Could be any topic, guys. Anything around it. I'm open to anything right now. But yeah, chuck it in the chat. Let's just go to the NRLW ones. So these two girls have just signed over. I think we're currently sitting at 10 signings with the NRLW, which is absolutely awesome. And this is a competition that doesn't typically kick off till June, I think, or July. Might kick off a little bit earlier now. But that's absolutely awesome. So the Black Fern star Shakira Baker is one of the 2 rugby union players signed for the One New Zealand Warriors. Baker is 32. She's a little bit older. And the 18-year-old Bay of Plenty rugby union product Tyra Wettere. But Baker, used as a wing centre fullback in Union, has been signed for 25-26 with a club option for 27. So we've got a few outside backs. I know Uppy's a fullback. Baker is a centre wing fullback. Okay. Well, fullback, halfback, Wettere has been locked in for 25-26. So that's great. They've signed them on 2-year deals. Sounds like Baker's more of an outside back and Wettere is a fullback, halfback. So Wettere might get a look in the halves depending on what signings we get. With the pair added to 2025 squad, Warriors now have 10 players confirmed. Others secured fullback Api Nichols, props Maya Hill Moana and Harata Butler. That's great to get some solid props. I expect a bit more in the area. Hooker Capri Paiko, second row Leishon Albert Jones. Leishon will be great. Outside backs Emanita Paki and Lavinia Tohala Liku, and prop second row Mata Kinogra. So we've got quite a few outside backs right now. That's filling out. We've got 2 props. We're going to have to get a couple more back rowers, halves. I'll be interested to see what halves we can get. And I wonder what is available. But great work. Sounds like Ron Griffith, since he finished up with New South Wales Cup, he's been on the phones getting these girls signed. So, okay, there you go for that side of things. Any thoughts on that? I'll just quickly get to the chat. Yeah, Tahi, it does say we're professional experts in terms of that. Na's problem is they do their apprenticeship here for themselves and go back. Yeah, that's part of the business. What I dislike about developing talent, and you feel for a club like Penrith, right, that develop talent and they just get taken from other clubs without any type of monetary value. That's just part of the business, the way it's structured. But what I would like to say is that hopefully bringing over that Aussie talent and getting our kids playing with other Aussie talent, it helps their development too. So for me, I'd love to get a team of, say, a few Aussies, or half and half even, and they win comps at their junior levels. But if they leave, then you've still strengthened the other Kiwi talent. I suppose they must have a model, Cappy and Webby, that for them at least they value, they know what is best to develop players. Me and Ash, we saw that with our our tier list last week, that we feel at least we got 3 solid juniors coming through, with Sifakula, Halasima and Leatoa. That's pretty good for a junior system development pathway that hasn't been in place for more than 2 years. To have 3 young up and coming talents be in and around the top 17, that's pretty good for mine on a short. And then you might look in the next year or two, that might turn into 6. So you've developed, say, and let's say maybe, for example, out of Sifakula, Leatoa and Halasima, only Leatoa gets through to 100 games, or let's just say that, and somehow Halasima signs with another club in Sifakula. If you can get 1 in every 2 years is good. If you can get 2 in every 4 years, it might be 3 in every 5. I'm not sure what the numbers are, but for me and Ash at least, we feel as though we've got 3 guys that could be generational talents. I won't put that on them. I won't knock them with that moniker yet, but I'm at least thinking that there'll be 3 kids there that that have been, or at least coming to close to their development. But yeah, great call, Don. Yeah, Campion made a huge difference to the Warriors. He absolutely did. You just can't overestimate the quality of Aussie experienced talent. Steve Price, for me as a kid, always stood out in terms of, whenever I saw Pricey on the field, it felt like he lifted the team. He had that swagger, he had that aura about him. I love the way he talked to the refs. Like, you could see he was very verbal, and he had that size about him and swagger about him. But I just felt that the team always felt as though when Price was on the field that we could compete. So you have those leader type Aussies that come over. Barnett is that kind of one at the moment. And then even having a specialist, I love the era with Tate and Price. It was awesome having Tate out there on the centres. Absolutely amazing to watch. But I loved having that balance where you have an Aussie hard man, and then you have an elite talent like a Brent Tate playing in your centres. I really missed that era. That was a good era, man. The 06, 08 era. Manu was just coming into his own, that type of thing. Jazz, not sure if you caught Sean. Sean's done a great job. It's funny, even me and Ash were talking about the video that Sean analysed about the Panthers game. I love seeing that type of analysis from players, and I think we need more of it, let's be honest. I do it. I suppose I put my spin on it, but it's not always accurate what I'm saying. I mean, I try my best to slow it down and thing. But Sean gives you, when he explains it, he gives you the reasons why you do it. For me, when I'm doing my analysis, I'm just telling you what is happening. I'm giving you maybe a definition of information. Sean is able to explain in a really clear way, why players do that, why you would go kick it early on the second tackle, what you're doing, what you're trying to do on maybe a 3 tackle sequence, and what you're actually working towards. It's not tackle for tackle when you make your mind up. These are like 3 or 4 sequences to get a certain player to move one way, and then you attack that spot. It's just awesome to hear. And yeah, he's doing really great on all that stuff. Campion talk Gutenberg. I like that Gutenberg, and Monty not take a back step. Yeah, Cappy was huge. He was, man. Campion, sorry, Campion. I was stuffing up Cappy. Campion, and the hard nosed guys. They absolutely were. Actually, yeah, he was on point. He definitely was on point. Ended up there with Joey Johns. I'm not sure how hard it is to get Joey Johns these days, but sorry, Liza, let me just move that a bit more. Yeah, Sean's always been smart, even in his younger days interviews. Yeah, he's a very good thinker of the game, you know what I mean? So it's always cool to hear Sean. And it's refreshing too. You know, I think the worst thing broadcasters can do is have the same guys on year in, year out. Like, I think, for example, Channel 9 has just... I think I would just get bored of seeing Joey Johns do the same, bit every week. Same with Freddie Fittler. Like, I don't feel like I'm getting much out of them. Whereas if I'm listening to, say, Cooper Cronk or a mix of Sean Johnson, I'm getting a bit more variety. I think that fleshes out way more. It's more interesting content for me. Like, Matty Johns is good. I think Matty's got such a good footy brain. And if you balance that with Cooper Cronk and then Sean and others, I think Fox is doing a way better job than Channel 9, in my opinion. But that's the type of level that fans want. We want those deeper levels. Yeah, you're absolutely right, Tay. Educational, what needs to make that side of the trip. It is. It really is. And you need people that can make it understood simply. Like rugby league is in technical and in theory a simple game, but it has such deep minutia that it needs people to explain that. Like the detail in terms of being able to like move one piece on the board away from what we should be doing. That for me is the beauty and art of rugby league. Is breaking down a side and targeting an area and being specific about it and getting a result, like, who was the worst one? I'm trying to think of who's been probably the worst commentator. Have you watched the Scotty Prince one where he's doing the preview to the game and he can't think of a line? Trying to think of some other funny ones. Chuck it in the chat if you think of a funny commentator's moment. I don't know if you guys heard NFL, but I heard Tom Brady's having a bit of trouble doing his commentary. Is it not Tia Row Party, but Woe Party? Him and what's their name? Woe Party. That was a classic one. The early Sky days, right? I remember watching those two, yeah, Joey's actually pretty good. When he's on, I feel like sometimes he's a bit out of character. Yeah, Cooper Cronk, I enjoy his stuff. That's so good. As I'm umming, you make me self-aware now, Jez. Okay. Another funny one was it the Mal Meninga when he goes for Parliament and he goes for the interview and he starts talking. He's like, nah, I just quit. This isn't who I. He had a bit of imposter syndrome on that one. Okay, so now guys, I've done my little bit. That's probably the latest in terms of news. Chuck in any comments that you might have. Yeah, tell me about it. Tell me about it, Jez. I listen back sometimes on the podcast and I hear myself like, oh, why do I keep repeating some of the same things? I do it all the time as well. Um, yeah, so what else is on the mind, people? I suppose finals, it was cool to do the watch along. Thanks for everyone that came along to that. That was real fun. Me and Ash are talking about, I think we're going to do the Friday night game. Was it the Storm Roosters? So come along again on Friday night, hang out with us. But both games I felt were just really lackluster. It's very funny because if you think about it, it was similar to how we kind of beat teams last year. So we kind of got smashed by Penrith that first week, similar to the Roosters. But then we came out strong in the second week. And we, we dealt to the Knights at home. It was a massive victory. Surprisingly, actually probably the Sharks-Cowboys was a lot closer, but the Roosters felt like they really, put them to the sword. And but that was, it's kind of how that kind of has a bounce back effect. Now the Roosters, I don't think they'll get past the Storm this week. But yeah, I'm looking forward to that one. Cowboys was a good one. The Cowboys could have actually won it. They just could not string together a pass. They couldn't string to pick. They had so many errors. Jazz, any more NZ Rugby girls about to sign up with us? I would say there'll be a few more. I think the expansion teams are pretty hard done by at the moment because all the girls are pretty much signed up long term. Like I would have loved for Mele to come back, Stacey Walker, all those ones, but I think those teams got those girls to sign up long term. Anissa Biddle was another one I really like over at the Sharks. I think she signed up long term. So we're kind of just, unfortunately, having to really pick out some tough buys. I think we're getting some quality buys, but I think the cream of the crop is still in those top teams. Now, the benefit is Griffiths has played for Newcastle Knights. He's won competitions. So if there's any of those girls, at least, that know him and his style, they'll be thinking, I want to go back to my old coach. I know he can win. I know I'll be successful. He'll get the best out of me. So there might be a few of those Kiwi girls there that still might yet to sign. There might also be a few of the Aussie girls, which would be great too. So just watch the space type thing. Who's the grand final winner in your opinion? Naz, I still got a good feeling that it's going to be Penrith. I'd love to just see one more game against the Sharks. I just got a feeling that they're going to win. They just look so dominant against the Roosters. We'll see how it is against the Sharks, but you just think all roads lead to Penrith and the Storm. They've just been a cut above everyone in that under third position down. I personally would love it for Jerome to get a win for the Kiwi side of it. But Penrith, they just got... Imagine if they won 4. Imagine for Ivan, at least, what a career he's had. Kurt Fleming, I remember when watching Footy Show maybe 7 or 8 years ago, Wendell Seller was doing an arm wrestle bit with someone, can't remember his name, but Wendell broke it. Oh, man. Yeah, you gotta be real careful with arm wrestling, man. Like, it sounds like it's actually crazy. Ben Ross, yeah, that's right, it was. Yeah. Yeah, no, I remember those ones. I miss the Footy Show. I really do miss it. I do miss the Footy Show. Okay, guys, let's do a bit of work. We've been a bit in a lax mode. I suppose, there's not much happening. Let's call it what it is. But I suppose what I want to start doing is looking at a depth chart, and I'll get you guys to do the work, and I'll get my thoughts on it. What I want to do, I want you to chuck in we'll go through each position. I want you to chuck in your 1, 2, 3, and maybe even 4 of who the top is for you in that position. So everyone in the chat, you follow my instruction, and we'll go through each position. So I want you to pick you starting at fullback. I want you to do 1, 2, 3. If you can get 4, because I'd love to see the lower level depth of fullback. So 1 could be C&K for you, 2 could be RTS, 3 could be Tane, 4 might be whoever. Just chuck it in. I want to see what the depth for each position is. And maybe me and Ash can talk about it again tomorrow night. But I'd love to see you, at least you members in the chat, give me your thoughts on who you rank as 1, 2, 3, 4 for fullbacks. I agree, Tony. I'm over those clubs. I wanted actually, I hate Manly. I hate those. I even hate the Roosters, but I would love to have seen just a different final this year. I totally agree. Yeah, I'm actually with you guys. So 1, 2, 3, 4. I won't give mine. I'll save mine for tomorrow night, but I'll just want to see where you guys are at. Fullbacks. 1, 2, 3, 4. So your depth chart. Whoever that might be RTS for you is your first point of call. Then underneath him would be C&K. Underneath him would be Tane, or you might have Tane at the top. Underneath him would be RTS. You might have C&K third. So whatever you guys think. A lot of you in deep thought, I can imagine. I'm not getting many responses, so I'm thinking people are really thinking about this. Okay, here we go, Jazz. So you go on C&K, Tuopiki, Roger for DWZ. I suppose that's probably a safe route. I think... who is it? Me and Ash have some good chats about C&K that he had to overwork a little bit. Tony's got RTS. So Tony, next, can you chuck in who it is? RTS, who's next after him, and next after him. So 4. If you can get 4 in there, Tony, please do that for me. Nas has got RTS. Okay. Tahi's got C&K, Tuopiki, RTS, DWZ, so similar to Jazz. Yep, I think we've had those types of chats about C&K being kind of a distribution type guy. Don, you got C and Z. Rog, Tuopiki. So C&K, Rog. Okay. I kind of like that lineup too. Nas is RTS. Okay, yeah. And I actually think there's some value to it. And Jazz's reasoning is playing it safe with experience. That's fair too. Okay. Anyone else you can chuck in the chat if you want to. Let's move to right wing. So right wing options. So we'll go. So I'll just quickly do Tony's. Well, Nas got RTS, Tuopiki, DWZ. So I think Nas, I know where you're going to go with C&K there. So Tony's got RTS, C&K, Tuopiki. And that's still a good balance too. RTS, C&K, Tuopiki. I can kind of see that as well. Okay, let's go right wing. You have to be fit. No, that is absolutely right. Charles Nickel as a Lesniak, yeah. Maybe we'll get C&K to grow his hair out next year. He'll have a Jerry curl as well, so we might get both of them mixed up. We'll talk out respectively. Okay, let's go. So let's break it down, guys. Let's go right wing. So you might have Dallin at top. Who fills in underneath him. You might actually have someone that's in the centres or in another position. So, for example, your right wing cover might still be RTS. Chuck that in the chat. Who you're right. So you don't. What I'm saying is you don't have to use names you haven't used already. You can use those names again to fill in at different parts of the field. Okay. Kurt's saying I actually like Dallin at fullback. That's actually a good point there. But his order is Tane, C&K, Dallin, and RTS last. Okay, so yeah, let's do right wing. We'll keep it moving. Just keep you guys on your toes. If you could play, he would be. That's a good one. So for me, at least, is at top DWZ. Underneath, who are the options? We'll see what people go with here, because I'm interested to see. It could be RTS, the second option. It could be. See if people are like still hanging around for Kossi. Kossi's still around. But sometimes I can see Leatoa as a wing option. Right wing. Yeah, be interested to see what guys you come up with. Right wing's actually a tricky one. Dallon's done pretty well to stay healthy. I'm trying to think who's filled in for him on the right wing when he hasn't played. Kossi's been the usual main go-to guy. But I wonder if a Setu 2 or something like that might get a little look in. Yeah, everyone's struggling to think about that one. Yeah, it's actually I've got to agree with Tony here. It's actually a struggle to think of who it might be. Okay, Jazz, give him a good crack. DWZ, Setu, Pasikala, Ali. Yeah, see, I think Ali, he's got some good wing cover attributes. Setu 2 has to get an opportunity at some point. Pasikala, yeah, I think Pasikala is on the fringes there. Ali. There is the option of Pompey too. I know Pompey's played a lot of wing. But Pompey, I suppose, will be more centre cover. But for an out and out, like say if it's not an HIA swap mid game, but it's a guy that's like Dallin gets injured and then the next guy in for the next game, who would there be? Setu 2, I could see that. Pasikala, I've heard good reports of him. Leatoa, I know he'd have a good carry. I know he'd be strong in yardage. Be interested to see what his numbers could be if he did play more of a wing role. The other option is actually a RTS there as well. Okay. Let's go left wing. We'll do the wings and then we'll do centres. Left wing for me, until it's said, I'll go with Montoya. But underneath that, we'll probably, similar here, Setu 2, maybe a Pasikala. I do think a Leatoa should be there. Left wing, if Kossi somehow turns it around, that he's able to be there. The other option is a RTS. It could be a wing option. Left wing, actually, I think a lot of you say might be RTS as your starting left winger. Monty, Ali, yeah, there could be Tony. Yeah, I actually agree with that. You're bang on, Naz. I think things might change over time, over the holidays, over the off season. But I think we need out and out speed. You're absolutely right there. RTS, Montoya, Setu, Kossi, yeah, that's probably a good option there. Like Montoya, I don't know if he'll get released next year, but we do need to at some point move into a phase of post Montoya. I think Monty's achieved all that he could possibly achieve here at the Warriors. I mean, he'd be solid in terms of his yardage, his other work around the. But you're probably thinking, if I can get a younger, faster, quicker player like Naz is saying, X Factor player, I'll try get him in. Okay, we'll keep it moving. We've got a few more positions. Right centre. So for me, Berry, I probably might go RTS underneath. Leatoa, I probably want to keep on the left side. It might be Berry, Pompey. It might be Berry, RTS, Pompey. Fourth one might be Leatoa. I'll leave MGT off at the moment because he is reports that he might be leaving. Maybe chuck in MGT if you feel like it. Not saying don't. But yeah, chuck that in if you feel that you need to add MGT in. But Berry's my number one guy there. I do feel solid in having Berry. Got no problem with that, actually. Lecker? You going Lecker, Tai? I mean, Lecker had probably the best run from a right centre this year. But I think Pompey will be in around that position as cover. But, see what they do with RTS. Like, I'd hate for RTS's centre work. I mean, if it was that really, really bad, then sure. But you'd have to say he will be involved in some utility cover this season. So he might be in rank 3rd. Okay, I'll let those ones feed back in. We'll keep it moving. We'll go for another 15 to 20, guys. So we can stop here if you got other questions. Chuck them in, comments. I just thought this would be a cool activity. Let's do 5/8. No, left centre. So left centre for me, I'm going with Lea Toa. 22 Jazz. Very, very, very Ali. Yeah, okay. I like that. I'm going for Lea Toa to start. I'll have Pompey as my second. I'll have RTS as my third, I'm thinking. Yeah. But I agree with Tony, Rocco. Yeah, Berry's had a few injuries. Will be interested. He had a pretty good 2023 season. Didn't get injured too much. This last injury has been quite long too. I don't think he's expected to be on the field for a long time. So I agree with all of you guys. Ali RTS probably is the right. I think Pompey fits in somewhere as well. Pompey for me is sitting in that cover role. Like Ali will have some bad spells. He probably might need to play through that. But if it gets really bad, maybe you bring Pompey in. But I think Ali is ready to fight out for a top spot if he can. Next, let's do 5/8. 5/8. I'm probably going to go to Mighty. I think Luke should be the main guy. He's the one that we need to find out. Like, can he play a whole season not injured? That's for me is the guy that I want to see. So for me it would be either Tamaida, CHT, probably Luke Hansen. We might see how it goes. Jet Cleary, if he's, I doubt it. Jet Cleary's probably a year or two off, but you probably got to go. Luke, Samini, CHT. For some of you, it might be Metcalf. I think Tamati would be a good 7, but I think that they put the time and money into Metcalf. You want to find out as quickly as possible if he's got the ability to be a 7. And I think he wants to be a 7. So that's the way I'd go. So I'd probably go with Tamati at 6. But we'll see. Ali Pomps, RTS, Mia Toyava. Yeah, Toyava's really highly rated. I know Jazz Ash has talked about him as well. Pompey gets a hard time, but he's a solid. I'm not his fan. Are you sure? No, Pompey is very good. He's very solid. For me, it'd have to be like Leoto would have. I think he's on the verge of a breakout season, but even defensively, he would have to be very, very, very solid. So yeah, but I agree. I agree with it actually. What else have we got? So yeah, halves. So halfback. I've got Metcalf, like I said, Tamari underneath. Can't really say right now who that third half option would be. It'd have to probably be CHT. And then the fourth option might be a Hansen or Paulie Roach, one of those two. That's kind of where I sit with the halfback position. I do feel as though yep. Met CHT. Yeah, I got no qualms with that either. I think for me, this preseason's about whoever the best combo is. That's what we're going to have to wait for. For me, we're actually moving into a period that we've lost, I suppose, our most experienced half and probably the best half in New Zealand Warriors history, who, yes, had a bad season, but the knowledge and ability that he had, if his body wasn't there, would have been insane. Now we're moving into an era where we have a half in Metcalf that has never played a halfback for a full year, and we don't know, and we want to know if he can do it for a full year and if his body can hold up. Then we've got a Tamairu who's probably, if anything, he's going to be at the peak of whatever his potential is. So we're going to find out that this is probably the best time for Tamairu, and it's probably, to be honest, this will be his biggest season to see whether he gets a contract extension or if he doesn't, and if we go into the market around that. Is Ben Farr leaving, or is it still his rumours? I think it's technically leaving. We'll have to wait and see, but it sounds like the club are moving on from him, which is, 2 injuries to our halves. Ben Farr's probably in there, so yeah, it's not exactly like if we let him go, it's probably, unless we're sure we're going to bring someone else in or upgrade another half. Maybe that's why they went with Paulie Roach, to try and be some type of half, but I don't quite agree with that. And you're absolutely right. No, it is absolutely right. It doesn't ring confidence. Like, as much as I praised Tamairu last year, and I know people may have interpreted that as like, I thought Tamairu is better than Sean Johnson. No, it was never that. All I was trying to say was that I thought Tamairu was the better half for that in that season with the way Sean Johnson was playing. But I honestly feel that with the pressure on him, I think he'll do well. But it's on him and Metcalf now to kind of guide us through the season, which can be long, it can be arduous. Again, Metcalf hasn't technically proven that he can play a full season yet. That's going to be the risk that the club's going to have to take. Tamairu has had neck surgery. Do you know his body's going to be able to hack it for 24 rounds? He had previously the same injury as Metcalf did. What if we get one more freak injury again? You've lost a half and you need another. CHT, I think, will be good, but he's had some mental lapses this year. Do you think he's going to be able to come back and be able to deliver? So that's another thing where you're probably saying, I agree with a lot of you guys, can we get another half in to bolster that squad? Even if it's like a veteran half, even if it's like maybe an up-and-coming half, you probably want that stock solid, because the two guys we have there, Metcalf and Tamairu, technically are injury-prone, which doesn't fill any of us with confidence. I mean, there's two things: getting them working together on the field, but to actually get them healthy through 24 rounds, that's going to be Ben Farr, and he's okay. I'm not saying he's great either, but I'm just trying to figure out how do we strengthen that depth. TMM, and if he doesn't get a contract advertised for other interests, yeah. So November 1, TMM will probably be looking at signing a contract. So we'll find out pretty quickly if he can get a contract for us next year. I actually agree with Jazz here as well. Ben Farr over in the halves. I think that is the right. I would agree with that. That's why I'm a bit interested to see why they let Farr go if that does happen, because I think he'd be the best possible guy we have at the moment, unless they go to the market and recruit a half to cover if we have an injury to a Tamairu or a Metcalf. Yep. Agree. Just worried about next year's halves. It's the management, and especially kicking game, bring back Ronald. Yeah, the only problem I have with Ronald is that the shoulder injury, right? This is the other part where I think we can't overlook estimate it, but it is the defensive side. Like Metcalf, he'll have to prove himself defensively. I thought Tamaita was solid defensively, barring the kicking game. And I know you can't just have a defensive guy and not have a kicking game, but you want someone that can kick and defend. I thought with Ronald's shoulder, and I suppose the way we went out with Ronald, the club must have had a read on that he just wasn't worth putting the money into with his injury. But yeah, I actually agree with you. But I just think that shoulder must be pretty bad right now. Don't bring up the Aussie refs right now, Tony. We got to wait till it comes around, but we've got to sort that out. We really do have to sort that out. Yeah, and I'm not labeling him as as a bad defender. Like he can improve. Like Sean Johnson improved defensively. He committed himself and his body and mind to defend. The Sean Johnson of 2023 wasn't all about the attacking stuff. It was the defensive Sean Johnson that he was rock solid. He was like on almost Joey Johns level of defense. He was rock solid last year defensively. Struggled this year, but that's what I'm saying with Metcalf. If he can get his mind and body, to being that defensively resilient, I think he'll go a long way. Oh, okay. I appreciate that, Jazz. Yeah, I don't know the details around that. Interesting that he wanted to go back to Aussie more. You probably think he would have had a chance here, but that's again up to the club to show the money, right? That they wanted to invest in him. But we'll have to wait and see on Ronald what happens with him. Okay, let's go props. So for me, we'll just do all props. JFH, top. Barnett, technically, although I like Barnett on an edge. Who else you got there? So I've got props would be JFH, Barnett. I'm thinking Ale still would be there. I think let's just put Bunty up for now. Would you go New Cordier? Would you go? Who would be your prop depth? I'd still keep Tohu as a lock for now. I think if he gets his body right, he will be able to. That's a simple and obvious answer, Tony. That defense has to be sorted out come round 1 next season, and it has to be able to play for the whole 24 rounds. Like that's the first thing I want to see. Not confirmed, Nas, but the reports are that word on the street. There's nothing official, but the Bunty might be on the thing. But I'm just trying to think because he did kind of get dropped out of the rotation. You probably think it would be JFH, Barnett. Ale, say if Jazz is gone, it'll be Aaron Clark. Probably Aaron might be in there. Then the next level would be Dimitrik. So Dimitrik might be 5th best option, although he could probably supersede a Tom Ale if he grows. But Barnett's big on Ale. I think I'm big on Ale, but he needs to step up. Yeah, Barndog, JFH. Yep. Absolutely. Trying to think of other ones. Yeah, so the Aaron Clark will fit in that prop role, similar to what Jazz is, but he will add a bit more versatility. I think he'll play a bit more lock at some stage. So Sefakula's in there. Yeah, Ali needs to tighten up. He really does need to tighten up. They all I would love to see that preseason JFH rocks up and he just calls them all out. You know what I mean? I think that would be absolutely cool. Yeah, no, that's cool. That's actually cool. Thanks for sharing that, Jazz. Yeah, again, similar to guys that have family in Aussie and they grow up in Aussie. Your heart always wants to go back close to home. But yeah, that's probably a props. Chuck in, you guys, if you got that. Back rowers. Let's do left edge. I'll probably sit with Capewell for now. If he can come out and do the same as what he did the last thing, he's definitely a left edge player, in my opinion. Underneath him, I'd have Leka Halasima. Underneath him, I'd have Ford. So those would be my top 3. On the right edge, I know this kind of thing, but I would actually like to see Barnett as a starting right back row. I think he just offers something a bit there, but we'll have to wait and see what Webby chooses to do. He's probably thinking the next run of guys aren't ready, so he will sit with probably Marata's starting. But I just think Marata, he's got so much to kind of work on in the off season. He will need to get himself like physically right. But for the right side, at least, I'm probably going to go with Marata. Halasima, I think, will get some understudy minutes there as well. You're probably looking at a Capewell or a Ford to fill in there at some point. I'm trying to think of any other back row. Laban's probably at the bottom rung, below Halasima for me as back row. But he'll be probably 4th, 5th in terms of the depth chart. Capewell Ford for the left side. I think Tony you got. Don saying JFH Barnett, Ale. JFH will be. Yep. Okay. He will. I think so. He'll have to. Capes 2, Jacko, yeah, Leka 3, Brain Fog. Okay, that's a good one. Barnett, Fish, props, not Marata, fit off the bench, impact prop. Yeah, I think Marata kind of moves back into an impact prop role. I'm really interested to see what Webby does with his back row options because, and this is true too, but Marata's got, he's very good, but sometimes, yeah. No worries, Naz. Okay, so that's my back row. Locks quickly. I think it's definitely Walker. I think it's Tohu. And then it's Aaron Clark. Those are my 3 there. I don't think Clarny breaks into the starting squad, unfortunately. But Aaron will fill in at times, and Lock, he'll be the last option. But yeah, we'll have to wait and see on that. On that role. Bench, so utility. Now, this is where this kid... Oh, sorry, we did hooker. So this will be interested to see what you guys think. Hooker would be, for me, Egan. I just really want to see this Healey kid play first. It could be Healey, but it could be Lussick. I think Healey will either be 3rd based on how long we've signed him for, and I think 4th will be Roach. So 2 and 3, you might swap between Lussick and Healey. Chuck that in the chat who you guys have got for the hooker role. Yeah, good call, Tony. I think you may be talking about back rows or you're talking about lock. Definitely needs a look of a look at. Marata out of all needs a huge. Yeah, he does. We can't be overpaying players for subpar performance as much as we love and respect them. Yeah, that's actually a fair call. We do need to be paying like those guys that are on the money. I think Marata's on 850, right? He needs to be delivering. Yeah, true. That's true. So let's go utility. Who's the best utility technically? Walker will probably find himself as that number 14 guy. CHT gives you backline cover and so ball playing lock, whereas yeah, it's interesting. Yeah, utility, that kid Healey might find himself in that spot. It's probably CHT and Walker are your utilities at the moment. Egan and Monoways, yeah. Okay, yeah. that's where my utility is. Bench props would probably be my 2 bench prop starters will be. Utility will be Clark. Hey, catch you later, Tony. Good to see you, man. We'll catch you later. Pop in tomorrow night if you can, for all you can eat. And then who have we got? Yeah, I'm trying to figure out who the last one is. Yeah. Anyway. Well, yeah. Try to figure that one out. But I think Aaron Clark is that utility at the moment. He'll be your prop and your lock cover. Yeah, this is a good one actually, Jazz. Walks, Clark, CHT, Kalani. Two-way picky could probably be used now as an actual pure out-and-out backline cover. Like, if I know Webby likes to run with 3 forwards, right? And a spare. I'd love him just a one time, just take the risk and Maya Sands, yeah, that's a good shout, Jez. I know Ash talked a lot about Maya. Again, we'll wait to see. Like, usually in preseason, some guy will step up and he'll be put into the mix. So we'll have to see who wins out some spots in preseason. I think that'll be really cool. Okay, guys, chuck in any last things. We'll wrap up tonight's show soon. If you got any last questions or thoughts, we'll wrap up in the next 2 to 3 minutes. Thank you for, while I'm saying it, thank you for everyone in the chat. Appreciate to get everyone's thoughts out to all our members. We'll add this to the show tomorrow night, so come in then. Me and Ash will probably look at the depth chart again, and we'll probably break it down. Probably look at some. I want to do a show with some looking into the cap, how that all weighs up. But yeah, that will probably be the last show for All You Can Eat this year at least. So we're moving into different content. We'll have a little 2-week break, and then we're going to move into Pacific Championships content, which I'm sure some of you won't mind, some of you might not. But yeah, we'll definitely be doing a lot of that. Couch Coach number 1, Jazz. Hey, mate. Now you are definitely in the top of Wires Up TV. You might be in the top 17. You might be in the top 5. You might be the greatest of all time of Wires Up TV, man. Thank you, Naz. Appreciate that. Thank you very much. Maria, aroha kia koe hoki e hoa. E tō whānau. 1 to 100. I love it. Love you, boys. Tai and Jazz. So yeah, so content will be All You Can Eat tomorrow. Come and hear Ash's thoughts. We'll wrap up the season finally, and then we'll move in. We'll be moving into more of Pacific Champs space, international footy for a month, and then we'll have our off season for good. But thanks again, Jazz, Tahi, Naz, Don, if you're out there still, Kurt, thank you, my friend. And all the other members who've jumped in. If I've forgotten anyone, I think there's probably all you guys that have been in. I'm just checking quickly. Thank you again, Naz, Killer, my man. I know you probably bounced already, but thank you for your super chat. Thank you to Naz for joining us as well, becoming one of our members. So we'll have a little break, but we will be doing members only as well for the Pacific stuff. So if that interests you, we'll have our members night for that night as well. So hang around for that. But yeah, so tomorrow night's show, then we'll have a watch along on Friday. Come hang out with us then as well. We'll talk greatest. What do we do? Greatest movies last time from Jose. Top albums. Maybe we'll do best in different sports. We can do that type of thing. Yeah, just hang in and make it a casual. It's nice to do these watch alongs without Warriors on the mind, because you know how stressful that could be. But it's nice to just enjoy a casual game and have a bit of a laugh. Okay, guys. Thanks, Don. Thank you, as everybody, always, Jazz and my man Tahi. You two always, we really appreciate you here at Wise Up TV. Go and enjoy the rest of your content. shout out to all the other creators who may be still doing content or wherever they may be. But yeah, Watos Locos. Again, not to forget, there's Holmes. Arohatu, yep. Watos Locos Forever Holmes. Absolutely. And tell Jose, wherever he is, come back with some new questions. I can't believe that guy. I was listening to Running It Straight and it was like, Jose XCI is like, oh my goodness, what is this question? Oh, 4 top movies. I was like, man, this guy asked me this on Friday night. Wherever you are, Jose, if you do watch this, man, come say hi. Okay, guys, we'll leave it there. Thanks, stay safe, everyone. Up the wires as always, peace, and we'll catch you tomorrow night for